Hello, students. We have completed our chapter 2, Diversity and Discrimination. And by now, we all know so many terms. So, shall we quickly revise them? Alright, tell me, when I say that there are so many differences in the society, what do you mean by it? And how does they happen? Well, people are different in terms of living, eating, speaking, clothing, and various other things. Differences are influenced by geography and history also, as we discussed in our first chapter. Now, this diversity is good or bad? Well, when people don't feel safe and secure with people who don't look like them, talk like them, dress like them, or think like them, people feel insecure. People also create certain attitudes and opinions about others who are not like them. For example, villagers as ignorant and superstitious, while people in cities as money minded, lazy, and cunning. Now, what do you mean by prejudice? Well, prejudice means to form an opinion. It means to judge other people negatively or see them as inferior. For example, we think English is the best language and other languages are not important. What are we doing here? We are judging these other languages negatively. As a result, we might not respect those people who speak languages other than English. Now, all these things, they help in creating stereotypes. Now, when we talk about stereotypes, we all are familiar with gender differences. Stereotypes affect all of us as it prevents us from doing certain things that we might otherwise be good at doing. For example, sports is for boys. Pink color is associated with girls. Boys don't cry. Stereotypes stop us from looking at each person as a unique individual with his or her own special qualities and skills that are different from others. They fit large numbers of people into one pattern or type, which is unfair. Is it right? No, absolutely not. Now, all these prejudices and stereotypes are causing discrimination and inequality in the society. What is discrimination? Discrimination means treating a person unfairly, especially on the grounds of race, age, or gender. How does it happen? Well, it happens when people act on their prejudices or stereotypes. Now, when the unfair situation in society occurs, when some people have opportunities, money, etc., and others don't have, what do we call it? We call it inequality. For example, like people who are poor do not have the resources or the money to meet their basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. Now, tribals, some religious group, and even some particular regions are discriminated against for one or more of these reasons. So, they are facing discrimination also, and they are facing inequality also. And it is very common in India. We all know about it. How? In the caste system or communities, groups of people were placed in a sort of ladder where each caste was either above or below the other. Those who placed themselves at the top of this ladder called themselves upper caste and saw themselves as superiors. The groups who were placed at the bottom of the ladder were seen as unworthy and called untouchables. In fact, Dalit is a term that belongs to people who belong to this lower caste. They were treated very badly. But this is not what our society is for. In society, everyone should be treated equally and no one should face discrimination. The Constitution of India protects the right of the minorities, the lower caste, and gives them equal opportunities in all the fields. It asks us to strive for equality. It gives us basics, fundamental rights. Now, how does this all happen? Well, this struggle for equality, it all started for the freedom from British rule, which included the large groups of people who not only fought against the British but also fought to be treated more equally. Dalits organized themselves to gain entry into temples. Women demanded that they should have as much right as education as men did. Peasants and tribals fought to release themselves from the grasps of moneylender and the high interest they were charged. So, what do we conclude from this chapter? We conclude that when India became a nation in 1947, our leaders too were concerned about the different kinds of inequalities that existed. Leaders set out a vision and goals in the constitution to ensure that all the people of India were considered equals, such as untouchability is seen as a crime and has been legally abolished by law. Government jobs are open to all the sectors of the people, irrespective of their caste, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of their region. People have the freedom to follow their religion, speak their language, celebrate their festival, and express themselves freely. Isn't it? Aren't we all proud of our country which has given us such a beautiful constitution, which strives for equality for all of us? I hope the chapter is clear to you now. Soon we'll be sharing the notebook work with you. Thank you.